cans!
Wait, what? Gas can? What are you doing with the gas can?
What? I collect them.
What do you mean you collect them?
They're antiques.
Why is it full of fuel?
What else am I gonna put in it? Cake mix?
It's a fire hazard, man.
Welcome to Smashing Plastic, a video series about awesome board games. My name's Shawn.
My name's Richard.
This week, we're gonna look at a situation where you, your family, all the things you own, they're in a house and it's on fire.
What would you do if your board game collection was fully ablaze? You'd call the fire department, but hopefully they wouldn't send us.
Not just fire department, no. Look, this week we're gonna look at Flashpoint Fire Rescue. Now, it was designed by Kevin Lanzig. It was originally released by Indie Boards and Cards through Kickstarter about 2011. Let's have a crack open and see how it looks. And there's one thing we love here at Smashing Plastic, it's board games tell story. And this one, right from the start, the story is fantastic. It's hilarious, it's fun, because it's all about setting fire to someone's house.
Who doesn't want to have give that a go? So the first thing you do is randomly choose a place in the house that is going to explode.
So here you can see we got a fire in the hallway, we got a fire in somebody's bedroom, and we got a fire in the kitchen. So these guys have not been very good about protecting themselves.
Not very fire smart. So what else we need to do is place the hazmat within the building. The hazardous materials, because store hazardous materials under your bed and in the sink.
As an example, here's one in some girl's bedroom. Here's one in the lounge. 2 and 3. And here's one in 5 and 8. It is there in the boys' bedroom. Now, because I know in my house, I let my kids keep their gasoline collection and their asbestos materials.
Asbestos. And finally, the last thing that you want to do is place onto the board, randomly again, is the points of interest, which are represented by these little question marks. On the underside of these question marks are the poor victims that are caught in this burning inferno. Sometimes these points of interest turn up as a victim. It might be a cat or a dog or
your wife.
Or sometimes it turns up as a blank, which means that you've wasted a bit of time trying to rescue nothing.
Once the house is fully ablaze and all your game collection's in danger, it's time to start getting the firefighters involved. So what you do is you select one of these cards. Now each one represents a different specialist firefighter who plays a different role in putting out the fire. For instance, the hazmat guy, he can actually get rid of these hazardous materials inside your house. Or the CAFS firefighter, he gets free action points for putting out the fire, but gets less action points overall.
So the last thing we're going to do with the setup is place the ambulance and the fire truck on the board. They go in their respective parking spots, like so. The way the ambulance works is whenever a fireman's rescuing a victim, they need to take the victim to the ambulance in order for them to be considered rescue. And with the fire truck, the fireman can get into the fire truck, drive it around, but it can also use the hose on top of the fire truck. And that's great because it can put out a wide area of fire. The problem being that it takes up a lot of action points.
Okay, so I've picked my firefighter and I'm ready to start helping out. As I move through the house, I spend action points to take a step, to start putting out fires, turn fire to smoke, to get rid of smoke, to open doors, use my axe to chop into walls and squeeze through the damage, all in an effort to reveal these points of interest. Ah, look at that, I've wasted my time. Now, the cool bit is, at the end of your turn, is the fire's turn to activate, and that's when things get really hairy. You know, the house is gonna keep building with smoke, which is cool because the more people you have, the more the fire plays around, so that by the time it gets back to your turn, it's an entirely different house. It's burning in different areas. The smoke is building and building.
So at the end of your turn, you need to advance the fire. You roll the dice, and as long as you roll a spot where there isn't currently any fire, you place a smoke token. And everybody has their turn, and more smoke appears, more smoke appears. The problem is, if you roll a space where there's currently a fire, what happens is an explosion. So say if I roll this space here, boom, whoompa, there's another big explosion. The fire pans out like that, damage to the walls. But now what has happened here is the fire has ended up next to some smoke. And what you do next is the smoke converts into fire and causes you a big backdraft that rips through the building. The rules for Flashpoint are fairly easy, they're not complex at all, and makes it really accessible for people that aren't gamers. You can introduce it to your family quite easily.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a copy for my kids. I mean, they're just young, but they're gonna gobble this up. And the stories that it tells, I mean, the gameplay is immersive enough that it doesn't really feel like an introductory game. I mean, this one time we were playing, I was in the fire truck and, putting out fires everywhere, and it's getting really acid. This game's almost too easy with the fire truck.
That's right, and I think we saved in that game one victim and then the building collapsed and killed everybody.
Everybody died.
It's good fun.
Look, if I was going to be super critical, this game's it's fine in the box, but there's so many expansions that it can almost intimidate a new player. There's a lot of extra stuff and and it's got a bit of that Kickstarter disease where it keeps popping up and popping up and popping up.
Yeah, I've got to say that I've invested in a lot of those expansions, and to be honest, I'm looking forward to getting them on the table because it adds stuff like a second story, ladders, basements, and I think it might lift the game to that level out of the introductory kind of level into something a bit more advanced.
The good part about that is that the base box, if you're just going to buy this, because all those expansions aren't in there, the price point stays low. So I mean, it's got a really approachable price point for an introductory game. Thanks for watching Smashing Plastic. Flashpoint Fire Rescue is a game we would definitely recommend.
If you want to follow us a little bit more closely, check us out on Twitter. I'm at AxeKickerKelly.
And I'm at Smashing Plastic. You can also subscribe to the show. We'd really appreciate that. And check us out the 1st and 15th of every month.
Any likes or comments you want to put up there is also greatly appreciated.
Yeah, we've loved the feedback we got so far.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.